What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Cleanspark and Marathon at the request of Navi, Steve G, Ghost in the 80s, and DB. DB, you also requested Marathon. Let's see. We're going over... Everybody else requested Cleanspark, but DB specifically requested Marathon. Let's see. Steve G, you were talking about how I only talk about the downside. I never talk about the upside. You want me to do some projections for the upside. Let's do that. And I do want to say, I want to correct you kindly, sir, that I do talk about the upside. I talk about it like, if I haven't talked about it in my past couple videos, I'm sorry. Maybe you're new to the channel. You know, anybody who's new to the channel, hit that subscribe, baby. Hit that like button if you haven't already. But maybe I haven't talked about it in the past couple days because I have been so adamant about the price going down. But I feel like I do normally talk about the possibilities of where it could go. You know, this whole time, essentially, from this day and all the way through here, I talked about how the price could literally move all the way up to $12 and still pull back down. $12 to $13, I even said. You can watch my videos from back then and find it. I'm not lying. I literally said that the price could go up to those levels from here. As we rounded this out, as it started to look bearish, I probably haven't been talking about it as much in the past week or 2 weeks, you know, because, let's see, like week or two, yeah. I probably haven't been talking about it as much, but I feel like at some point in here, I definitely said if we were to go higher, I still wouldn't be worried because we've done this before where, you know, we've dropped and then we moved up near the highs again, and then we followed through with some downside. Here we found our high, went down, came back up when we consolidated, right? Here you found your high, dropped 15% 1 week, came back up near the high, and then dropped lower, and vice versa, right? Like, Cleanspark definitely likes to play games with us, man. You know, here, all-time high, came back up, and then you started your onslaught to the downside, right? It's definitely, it doesn't move in a straight line. Even if it looks like it moves in a straight line, it has these volatile moments. So, oh man, somebody else, I forget who it was. I don't think it was you, Steve, but somebody was saying, and maybe it was, but I don't take it offensively or personally, but somebody was saying, standard volatility? Do you even pay attention to fundamentals? I want to say first and foremost, I don't care about fundamentals too much. I'm a technical analyst. I do charts. I do price action. That's what I do. There's an old saying in the technical analyst world, show me the charts and I will tell you the news. That's the thing. So whenever I say standard volatility, I absolutely mean standard volatility. From this low to this high, we went up almost 40%. From this low to this high, we're up 64%. Okay, whatever. But we dropped a lot harder, right? This is a bigger move down. 35% here, 52% there. Of course, you know, we might see a bigger bounce because of that, right? Here, you know, you dropped 26%, and then 1 week you moved up 20%. You know, you gave back most of that. Like, what I mean by standard volatility is relative to the moves. We're just doing what we've done throughout most of this thing's history. Even if we're moving down and we're getting lower highs, we've had times where we move up a lot. And then, you know, we went up 154% from January 14th to March 28th. So that's like not even 3 months time, like 2.5 months time. We moved up 144% and we still went down. Standard volatility. And I'm sure there were positive news stories coming out then too. Yes, I look at the fundamentals. Yes, I do. Especially and really only when I invest in something. I'm invested in Cleanspark, so yes, I look at the fundamentals. Absolutely, I know about the fundamentals. I know about the acquisitions of the 3 properties that they have. 1 of them still under construction, and 2 of them are not under construction. The thing is the reason why they say, show me the charts and I'll tell you the news, is because the news can be misleading. Charts very rarely are misleading, but they have moments where they are. Bullish engulfing candle here, and then you drop the ass, right? I don't know, very bearish candle here, like a bearish breakaway, and then you started to go up. Right as soon as you got your like most bearish candle, that's when it was the low, right? You moved up 144% in 2.5 months, and you still went lower. Like, charts can mess with you too, but there are signals, there are indicators that kind of line up and agree with all these things. Just like here, we bounced off the 50, we bounced off the 123, bouncing off of previous areas of resistance. It was more or less obvious that we would find support here, and I even made an X post literally on the bottom on this day, like on the bottom at $6.50. You can check my X account at Chris Harris 85. I was saying that I expected the price to go a little bit lower, but I actually had sell orders. I had my sell orders of my puts down here, man. Even though I thought the price was going to go lower, I was trying to sell. There just wasn't any people buying, which sucks for me. But I literally could have bought it, but then it went up, and I'm just stubborn, man. If it's not gonna take, then I'm just gonna wait till it comes back. And I wish I sold here. I wish I sold here, but whatever. I'm in it to win it. I'm still in the green. I can still cash out with a decent amount of money. But I'm not doing that because I very much do expect the price to go down, even with the bullish news, even with the bullish earnings, because we've seen it where we've had bullish earnings before. We went up for a couple days and then we rolled over and we went down for like over a month. We've seen it where we had a good earnings day here and then we were consolidating. We really didn't do much. We still went lower over time. The last time we had earnings, we actually did continue to grow. So we can do, just because it's positive earnings doesn't mean it's going up or down. It can do whatever it wants. But the acquisition of the properties, I don't know a lot about the laws. Okay, I don't know a lot about the laws as far as like all the codes and stuff that have to go into setting up Bitcoin mining facilities. When I say codes, I mean like building codes, like permits from the city and stuff like that. I'm sure there are some legal hoops and tape that they have to jump through. I'm sure it's not just a walk in the park. Maybe they acquire these facilities and they're going to get them up and running tomorrow. But if they've acquired these facilities, they probably have to acquire units and tools and hardware and people to operate them, right? To make them to bring money. That's going to cost money. They're going to have to put money not only into buying these facilities, but into equipping them to make money down the road. I do think that this is a bullish thing. I absolutely do. But momentarily, what I see it as is a price or a money hole, right? It's a money hole. You got to put your money in the hole. Hopefully, a money tree grows out and it sprouts, and you make more money than you had before you put the money in the hole. And I do think that that's going to happen, but that's down the line. Fundamentals do matter. They do matter. But when it comes to immediate price action, I think that they lie. Long term, it matters. It's a good thing. I'm glad they're acquiring more facilities. They're putting their money into things that are going to help build the company. But at a time where we're right before the halving, where the pay is literally going to get cut in half. Yes, they're adding more, so their pay will go up. It won't get cut in half technically. But even if they doubled their amount of servers, they're going to take a pay cut. That's like to some degree. Even if they doubled it, they're gonna, because the hashing algorithm, the difficulty goes up. So even if they doubled the amount of miners they have, the difficulty goes up. They're going to be, even if the halving happens, the block gets cut in half, but they doubled their miners, they're not going to be making the same amount of Bitcoins as they were before. They're going to be making less still, technically. They'd have to more than double their total hash output for them to make enough Bitcoins to keep up with what they're doing now, is what I'm trying to say. Before I fumble on all my words. So what I'm trying to say is I see this as a good thing down the road, but for the immediate term, I see this as a money suck. It's gonna take time, and I don't know. Again, back to the laws. I don't know the laws as far as it goes with all these things. But are they going to get set up tomorrow? They acquired these buildings. One of them still under construction. Are they going to get set up tomorrow? Are there going to be underlying costs that take place? Are they ready to go? But for whatever reason, the city code just doesn't allow them to operate yet until they get the proper licensing or the proper inspections done, and that could take a month, that could take 2 months, that could take like a year. I got a buddy who owns a business, man, and he had a whole room, had like a whole section of a building that he was going to use for his business, and he couldn't use it for literally over a year because the damn inspectors wouldn't come in. They wouldn't approve his stuff because they were too busy. And it's a different business, right? It's a totally different business than mining, so I really don't know. And it's a different state. I'm in Colorado. They're in Georgia and Mississippi, but just because they acquired these places does not mean that they're going to have 3 new facilities with stacked, loaded miners going right now. They're not going to see that. They're going to have to put more money into it first. And where's that money going to come from? Probably their shares. Probably their outstanding shares. They're probably going to have to dilute it, and that's how it happens. So all I'm trying to say is good media can be bad for price. bad media can be good for price. And that's why technical analysts don't give a damn about the price. Show me the charts, I'll tell you the news, because whatever the news says, it doesn't matter. It's what the charts say. At least that's my opinion. I do think fundamentals matter. Anytime I invest in anything, and I very much recommend that anybody does this, anytime you invest in anything, you should absolutely look at the fundamentals. Don't let the fundamentals, though, sway you into when you should buy. You should learn technical analysis, or like look at least on a basic level, look at price history, right? Oh, I've moved up a bit, maybe wait for it to pull back. Oh, this month it pulled back 27%. Maybe that's good enough for you. You know, maybe you bought here, but right here, you're up 30% this month. Probably not a good time to buy. Probably not, at least in my opinion. But again, could the news be misleading? Could the earnings being good, could this news of the acquisition be misleading? Sure, absolutely it could. Could it be a good thing? Could we be going all the way up and setting new highs right now? Sure, we absolutely could. I don't think we are. I think we have lower to go. But let's get into the technical analysis right now. I'm sorry I got off. I went off the deep end there, but looking at this relative low to high, you pulled back to your 786. That same low to this high, you pulled back to your 382. That same low to this high, you pulled back to your 0.5. So anywhere from the 382 to the 786 is where you've pulled back so far based off of this low. You didn't even hit your 382 here. And that's at $6.20. And that's where I would expect at a minimum you would go. But truthfully speaking, looking at this low to high here, I would think you'd go to this 1272 to the 1618, 560 to 471, somewhere in there. And I'm getting caught up in the downside. Steve G, you were talking about the upside. You want me to do that? Let's do that. Relative cycle high, I think you wanted this exact thing. And I left it in the comments, but we can do it now. I've made plenty of videos talking about this exact thing, just maybe not recently, but I promise, man, I do talk about the upside. You know, and I have mentioned even that price could do exactly this thing. I definitely didn't expect it recently, but when we were down here, I did. You know, I wouldn't say I necessarily expected it, but I accepted it as a possibility. But from high to low here, by the end of this cycle, I very much do think that the price could go anywhere from about $307 to $101, something like that, in that range, potentially higher. That would give it like $130 billion, $140 billion market cap if it went up here. This would be under $100 billion. That's why I really think that this area is more likely, personally. But that is possible. I think this cycle we will see the first crypto mining companies being worth $100 billion or more in market cap valuation. Could it be Cleanspark? Absolutely it could. 101 to 307, that's the expected range. So that's where I think we're going to top off at the cycle. You want to do more immediate upside action? Let's do it. Let's do it. If I was wrong, where's it going to go? If I was wrong, if we continue to go up from here, we're going to go to 1663 to 2155, probably. And why do I say that? Because from this high to this low, we actually went right up to the 1618. We went a little bit above it, actually. And Steve G, I don't know how long you've been around, man, but if you have been around since here, I did literally sell the top. I literally did sell the top. So I've definitely looked at the upside, you know, and I was talking about that since we were down here. So it's in phases. You know, we're moving down right now. I think this is going to be a lower high. You know, actually, to be completely fair on that note, 1618, if we reject the 1414 area, that would look deconstructive in my opinion. Oh man, but seeing this and then coming down to find support on your 886 like that could be good. If you get above this 1414, man, it really might be on to like 1558, but I'm not convinced yet. And when I say get above it, I mean close above it. I don't mean just like have a moment in the sun. You got to stay above the sun. But I don't know, man. That's really all I'm trying to say is the price could go up higher, but I do think it's going to go lower. If we were to reject from here, it'd be a perfect rejection right off of the overbought zone. Beautiful setup. Talking about a relative high to low here, just like this went just above its 1618. Here we are just above this 1618. Could we go lower from here? Sure. Could we go higher from here? Sure. We'll know whenever it happens. But at this point in time, I'm not necessarily swayed by this, right? I wasn't expecting, especially in the recent days, that we would go up this high. But I have been talking about price action going like this, even up to $12 to $13. I've been saying that since we were down here. So I'm not going to chicken out now. If it goes up here and then it pulls back down, I'd feel very silly for buying here or selling my put options here. You know, I'm just going to be patient and wait. And if I have to let it go, I'll still let it go in profits, but I want to see more from it. I want to see more sustained prices. Right now, we're kind of at this area of previous resistance right here on a closing basis, opening basis. I guess that'd be like right here. You know, we're right in that range. We're right in the middle of the 61869 zone too, right here, right? 61869. I'll delete these white lines so that the other white lines can illuminate. 1014 to 1070. We're right there. So we'll just see how this thing goes, man. Let's see how it goes. Hopefully tomorrow we get some pullback, because if not, I'll really start to sweat. I'll be sweating tomorrow for sure. But as of right now, I'm not sweating. This is standard volatility. Whoever said standard volatility, what are you talking about? This is absolutely standard volatility. We've seen it throughout this thing's entire existence, right? Like right here, relative high to low, went all the way up to the 786, right? Standard volatility. There was probably good news coming out then. Oh, look at that. The earnings were positive. Look at that. Oh, yeah. And it still went lower. You know what I mean? So absolutely 100%. This is just standard stuff. I'm not going to be swayed by that. Show me something more than standard stuff, and then I'll be convinced, right? Another thing that's kind of standard is below the green line, below the 123. That's your low. Below the 123, the green line, that's your low. We didn't get below it this time. Looking at this thing for what it is on a weekly basis as like a channel, right? If we like took a line there, kind of took a line here, maybe like a broadening channel or whatever. We didn't really bottom out, like we bottomed out in the middle of it. That just based off of what we've done since we literally found our cycle bottom, I would think that we go lower. We don't have to. All these thoughts, they're just that. They're just thoughts. They're just opinions. I can be wrong. And I will admit when I'm wrong, and I will take measures to prevent myself from losing money if I am wrong. But right now, I'm still in the green. I'm not worried about it necessarily. I wish that I'd let go of my position down here, but you never know the future. And if in a month and a half the price is all the way down here, this moment of worry, I'm a human being. I have emotions. It's not like I'm not worried, but I'm really not that worried, to be completely honest. I will be worried if we go up too much more. But this moment here where it's like, I wish I sold down here, that'll go away as soon as we take out that low. And I very much do think we're going to take out that low. But that's Cleanspark. Let's move on to Marathon. That was a very long introduction. Marathon here, talking about it, looking like it wants to go up a little bit too, doesn't it? Let's see, low to high. Maybe you go up to $22. You're at $21.58 now. Test that 236, find resistance, and come back down. That'd kind of be my expectation. Top to bottom here, 23.48, your 618 there. Maybe you do go up a little bit higher even. You can break through that 236 and still that's not it. 1272 up there at $25. Yeah, there's definitely targets above, anywhere from like $26 to $22, and here you are at $21.58. So let's just see how it goes. The week is coming to an end, and you had a very decent move up. You're up 18.5% this week. Very low volume. Very, very low volume. So I do think that you're going to go lower. I don't think you're going to go below this low here, but I think probably somewhere around $12.50 to $11, something like that, is in the cards for you. And that's really all I got, man. So up a little bit for now, and then down probably. Decent volume on the day, though. Not going to lie, that's decent volume on the day. Let's just see how you do. Let's see how you finish up the week. Let's see how the next couple weeks go. But I do think you'll see prices below this low. But that's all I got, man. Previous area of support, could find it as resistance. You could go up a little bit more and then find that as resistance and then go lower. But yeah. High to high, maybe you do go all the way up to $25, $26. You could, and it would still be a lower high, right? I'm not convinced that this thing is going to move up higher until you at least take out this high, which you're not really. I mean, maybe you could, but I don't think that you will, but we'll see. I can be wrong. Been wrong before. I'll be wrong again. I definitely didn't expect Marathon to do this. I didn't expect Cleanspark to do what it's doing. So we'll just see, but I'm going to be patient. Even though sometimes the unexpected things happen, you got to try to be level. You can feel those emotions. You're a human being. I'm not going to say I'm emotionless. Like I trade like I'm emotionless. I invest like I'm emotionless. But absolutely, there's emotions going through me right now. Like it would be so much better if I was in a position where I'm making money as it goes up. And I am. I own stock in Cleanspark, so as it goes up, I am making money. But I'm also in a put option, so a short position. So I'm losing money as it goes up, but it's still in the green. So it's like, if you're in profits, like you can't really be upset. You can be upset, but you're doing it wrong if you're getting upset about making profits. But it could have been more. It very well could have been more. I could have played it better. But ultimately speaking, again, if and when the price comes down, this little standard volatility, which upsets some people, it's not going to matter. It's not going to matter that much. Anyways, that's all I got for you guys. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more. Hope I didn't sound like a crazy person for too much of that, but some of you like that. So take care. Bye-bye.